So we've already discussed a variable is simply a container that's going to equal a number. And the reason that we use a variable is when we want something that's going to vary, like we're drawing with it. So the x number can't be a static number, it needs to change. So the system variables that we've started working with, besides width and height, but for movement and interaction, have been MouseX and MouseY. So MouseX reads the value of wherever your mouse is on the x coordinates or the x-axis, and the mouse Y does it for the Y. So we're now going to put this into some shapes. So if, for example, I have a square and my square is just right here, it's just sitting there by itself, but I want it to move. So I'm going to, let's start with just having it move on one axis to start with. So what if I want this square to be able to draw with it, moving it horizontally? So what do you think we would replace? We would replace the 50 and make that mouse X. So now, this is just like what you did with the pen. Now I can draw with that square back and forth, okay, which is sort of fun, but not as satisfying as if I could draw with it going on the y-axis as well. So you can probably guess what we need to do next. I need to substitute this coordinate that is for the y, and I'm going to put that as mouse Y. And now I can draw all over the screen and I can do some kind of cool things. And you should just pause and play for a minute because it's kind of fun. But we could just, nothing related with mouse X or mouse Y, but just take a second and bring back something we know, which is the fade, that fading rectangle. So this actually could be kind of cool. And then you could play with colors. You could have the color shift. I could have a color shift that was some variation of also changing based on the location of my mouse. Okay, so now this is going to shift colors. I could do something else with the stroke. And then just to tie in that fading rectangle, okay, so I'll put this in comments. This is my fading rectangle. I'll put in a fill. I'm going to make it black. And I'm going to give it a low opacity and make that rectangle. That's going to start on the top left corner, and it's going to be the full width and the full height. Okay, so that's my fading rectangle. All right, and so then I could get this kind of effect where it fades. It leaves a trail and it fades, but if I put that opacity down even lower, it'll leave more of a trail. So if I want to be able to kind of draw or keep that trail there, I'm just going to change that opacity. But it's cool because it erases and it just creates kind of like a neat effect. You could go way down. So if I put just an opacity of 3 on this, okay, so it even takes a second for the background to become black. It sort of looks more grayish. So this could also be kind of cool. All right, so now we are drawing with a shape. So I want you to, when you're finished with this, then create your own sketch. Start from scratch. You could save this, put it to the side, start from scratch, use a different shape and make it draw all over, and maybe take a moment and add mouse X and mouse Y into your fill as well. Don't do exactly as I did. Come up with some other combination and add the fading rectangle and then show me that as well. So basically you are just trying a different shapes and repeat everything that we just did.